This meeting is being recorded.
That wasn't what she said. Recording in progress.
Oh, mine on my end said what I said.
Oh, really? On
Yeah.
my end, it just says recording in progress.
Oh.
Oh, so it gives you a different message than what it did.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Disclosure.
Anna, if I pull something off of YouTube and then play it in this podcast on YouTube, can it be played?
I think you go down a wormhole of rights.
See that, because I was sitting here thinking, as you know, Anna, I do a lot of thinking. That's what I do, folks. I think, and then it comes out of my mouth. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. I quit watching the Bachelor and the Bachelorette.
Me too.
I'm like, you know what?
Got over it. I stopped with Rachel. I was like, it's the same.
You jumped the shark with the show. Yeah. And no, this wasn't about the racial overtones. And, the show has just lost its.
You were upset about the cheersing.
Well, when they started cheersing, that was one thing.
You knew you were like, I got one foot out the door on this one. That's not
look, the reason people might say, Vinnie, why were you watching this to begin with? And there was a very good reason, because I like to see what's going on in America.
And right? Also, who would ask such an incredulous question? How do you not know why someone would watch The Bachelor? Because it's amazing television.
All right, Anna, I'm gonna harken back to a time back in my day.
Okay.
Dating. Here's what would happen. I would be in New Orleans. And by the way, folks, I don't mean this to be anything. Oh, I'm being called by the billionaire himself. Should I pick it up?
Oh, yeah. Bring him on the air.
Let's see. Hang on.
We want to hear his dulcet tones.
Hey, Don, I'm podcasting with Anna. Can we bring you on the air?
Plug him into the thing, into the roadcaster.
What do you mean for what? Because everybody wants to hear.
What do you mean for what?
Like,
don't give me attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we bring
I don't like his attitude right now.
All right, hang on. All right. Folks, this is very rare. This doesn't happen very often, but we're bringing a billionaire.
He's too rich to grace us with his presence usually.
Yeah. Don, you should be on. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yeah, there you go.
Don, are you giving me attitude right now that you're not going to come on the podcast?
I said, Don, let's bring you on the podcast. He goes, for what?
For what? What do you think? To get you some chicks.
Okay.
We're trying to help you.
Yeah, Don.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, I see. Yeah.
I would think, Anna, I'm not going to mention any names.
Okay.
Donnie Boy doesn't need help right now. That's all I'm going to say. All right. I'm not going to say any more than that.
Okay.
That's right.
Someone's got his bases covered.
Oh, and by the way, somewhat of a celebrity. Yeah. Someone who's well known.
So,
is it Lady Gaga?
What's going on over there?
we're doing a podcast.
What are you podcasting about? What are you telling people?
You were telling them all about
you, motherfucker.
Don,
we literally just started and you interrupted us. So we're talking about you. Tell us everything.
This is a good conversation for Don. As you can tell, he's walking down the street right now. That's when he calls me.
Not doing anything right now.
All right. You can hear
Don, you need to get a job. You're too rich.
Yeah, Don. With that. Yeah. All right. So, Don, I was getting ready to go into this diatribe. So you might as well be here for this too.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I quit watching. I used to watch The Bachelor because I want to see what these kids are up to, right? How dating goes nowadays and this whole deal. Now, Don, back in our day, you and I were born, a few days apart, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Back in our day when we were 18, 19, now when you were 19, 20, something like that, where were you? Where were you in life? In what state? Tell me what you were doing.
Connecticut.
Okay, Connecticut. So close to New York, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Anna, I'm not kidding. Now, Anna, I want to know if you guys, now I was in New Orleans, right? Another city that doesn't sleep. Right? You're up on a Friday or Saturday night. Now, this is kind of the end of the disco era. People were still going out to bars. That's how you met people. You go to these bars with the disco music, what have you. Right, Don?
That's right. 100%. Yep.
Now, Don, here's what we would do, and I want to know what you did.
Uh-huh.
We would literally, this is what I did. I would go to bed at around 9 o'clock, 8, 9 o'clock, take a little nappy poo, wake up somewhere around midnight.
Disco nap.
Yeah, just get up around midnight, take a shower, get dressed. By 1:15, I'm in the clubs.
At 19.
Yeah, 19, 20, 21 in the clubs.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. You got all your losers there early, buying drinks, lubing up the women, right? But they're not going to cash their chips in early in the night. That's a loser move, right, Don?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to wait a little bit. You got to hang in there. So why go there and start buying chicks drinks? Because they're waiting for something better to come along. And eventually you get in there 12:30, 1:30, and they're a little loopy. This guy's out of money. He's leaving with nothing. And you got yourself a loopy chick. You start talking, right? Is that the way it worked back in our day? Am I making this up?
That's how it was. Yeah, that's the only option you had. There was no digital or social media.
Yeah,
that was it. Face to face.
And I remember every now and then, sometimes I would get the bins. I would go to Baton Rouge because I would be home in Donaldsonville. So I'd want to go to Baton Rouge that night and see some of my friends I went to high school with. And we go to those bars, those discos. And you see, I would get there at 1 o'clock. Baton Rouge, a little more religious than New Orleans, they shut down at 2 o'clock.
I was gonna say last call's at 1:30 if it shuts at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. And I'm like sitting there going, oh,
you got not a lot of time.
I just screwed up. I need to start talking fast or just leave. And as a matter of fact, most people would go.
Did you tell them about zone 2 training and that's how you got them?
Oh yeah. The ladies love that, Anna. I would tell them, listen, you want to keep it right between 70 and 80% of your aerobic capacity.
Okay.
That's what you want to do.
Vodka, VO2 capacity.
Yeah. That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is your boyfriend out on an oil rig tonight?
I don't have a boyfriend.
No, you do. He's out on the rig, right?
He's in the rig.
Yeah. When is
I'm faithful though. I'm faithful to him.
You're faithful?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
tell me more about this zone 2 training.
Listen, I'm a little worried about you because it sounds like you're slurring your speech. Do you have a ride home? Do you have a way of getting home?
Okay. Can you give me a ride home? We don't have Uber. It's 1980.
No, but how are you going to get home? I mean, your friend Sally over there, because back in those days, girls were still named Sally. And she just left with another dude. And I can't
Oh,
in
crap.
my right mind.
I'll ride with you if you have a Camaro.
Oh, Anna, guess what I had?
I'm sure you did. Hold on. I have to cough because I have this horrible bronchitis.
All right, you cough. So, Don, is this anywhere close to the truth of how it used to be back in the day?
Yes.
Right? Am I making, look, does this make me a bad person? Does this make me a horrible person? This is just what it was.
Why would you
right?
be bad? Yeah,
because people might go, oh, what are you taking advantage of drunk women? I didn't tell them to go to the bar and start drinking.
Right, exactly.
Right? This is just the way it went down back then. This was dating. The girls were hard, the guys were harder. It was just the way it was, right? Everybody knew what the game was.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm watching a Bachelor the other night because even though I stopped watching the show, I got pulled in the other night. I walk in, Serena, she goes, oh, let's just see. You got these guys. Anna, you got these guys. You want to talk about the pussification of a nation. Dudes had a code back in the day. Number one, you didn't mess with another dude's late. Like if he was a friend of yours, look, if it's a guy you don't know, he's on an oil rig, that's fair game.
Yeah, you're going for Sally.
He should have done a little better in college and not ended up out on the rig. Okay, you're on the rig.
I feel like those are really good paying jobs though.
Well, look, it is what it is. But the dude code is like Don wouldn't hit on my chick. I wouldn't hit on Don's chick. Right, Don?
Mm-hmm. You got it.
It's just the way it works. Right? And guys wouldn't tell on each other. Let's say me and Don went out. Let's say Don was in a real relationship, right? And let's say he had a little discrepancy. Something happened one night. Nobody saw anything.
Yeah, a little slam pig action.
Yeah, a little slam pig. A little
He
slip.
exercised his options. Yeah.
Yeah, he was exercising. And
Bro code, you wouldn't tell his lady.
let's say I knew about it. Let's say he
You absolutely knew about it. You saw it happen.
an extra bedroom or something, and Don came. I don't know what happened, right? Maybe they sat there all night and talked. I don't know. Do I know Don?
I feel like Don definitely would have had an emotional affair.
Okay. You think it's up to me to go to Don's girlfriend and go, listen, here's the deal with Don. He was doing a little slam pig with some, is that slam pig, Anna?
Mm-hmm.
With some other chick last night. You don't do that. But on Bachelor, they're telling on each other and they're making up stuff. They're not even telling.
You're talking about Bachelorette when she's dating a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, she's dating a bunch of dudes.
When the dudes tell on each other, it's bad enough when the women tell on each other, because men don't like that behavior, because men generally are like, oh, you don't rat people out.
Not these men, Anna. Not these.
But when the men do it, you're like, oh,
no,
it's just like, why?
It's upsetting. It's sad. And I'm telling you guys, you're not going down a happy road. You don't pussify yourself. We're already finding out that you guys don't have as much testosterone as guys before you. You're already on thin ice.
Just like the next generation doesn't have as much.
No, they don't. This is a fact, Anna.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it has to do with all the plastic. You're eating from plastic. You're drinking from plastic. You're getting all this estrogen.
Well, and that's the young ladies with the PCOS from all the plastic too.
You know what? I need to man up right now. Hang on. I'm going to play something. You ready? You guys ready?
Yeah. Ready? Bill, are you ready?
Yeah.
Write down the time code.
Because I'm pulling this from YouTube and I'm playing it on YouTube. It's YouTube on YouTube crime. So you know what? F you, YouTube. See, guys, that's a man that doesn't have estrogen running through his veins. That's a 58 and a half, almost 59-year-old guy that still has a little something called cojones. All right. Okay. Let me play something for you, Don. Don, I hope you don't get an erection from this, but here goes.
30 years from now, when you're sitting around your fireside with your grandson on your knee, and he asks you, what did you do in the Great World War II? You won't have to say, well, I shoveled shit in Louisiana.
Part of the best monologue in movie history. George C. Scott, Patton.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think every guy on The Bachelor, before every morning when they wake up, they should make them listen to that 6.5-minute monologue. Every one of them. This is the 5th of July. This is the day after we took our independence from England. Right now, the 5th of July is when this is coming out. Right, Anna? Yeah. Anna saying yes. I think. Yeah. She had her mic off. Okay.
Born on the 5th of July.
Yeah. What the hell is that, Don?
I don't know.
He's walking down the city streets.
Yeah, he is. You know why?
He can't account for the adventures he's having.
Don, let me ask you this. You ready?
Yeah.
You getting ready for our hiking next week? Is that why you're walking?
I am.
You got, let me ask you this. Are you rocking?
Rocking. Yep.
How much weight you got on you right now? I need
30
to know.
pounds.
Yeah,
30 pounds.
30 pounds. You know, these kids today, the ones on The Bachelor, they wear the lightest clothes they can wear because, I can't have clothes on. It's too heavy. I got to have shorts. 58-year-old man out there with a ruck pack on. Probably smoking a cigar. Don.
He's doing zone 2 cigar smoking.
Wait, tell the truth,
That's
Don.
admirable.
Don, you really have a ruck pack on, right?
I do.
Okay. Do you have a cigar in your hand?
I might.
Yeah. There we go.
This is the greatest moment in podcast history.
And it's raining.
You see that? That's what I love.
That's some clever cigar smoking, to be in zone 2, cigar smoking in the rain with a rucksack.
He knows what he's doing. That's what a man does.
That's a man.
Listen up, Bachelorette. You want 58, almost 59-year-old Don Coddington, the billionaire. The guy is out there with a 30-pound rucksack Anna, you know what his rucksack looks like? You want to see what it looks like? Oh, wait, I don't have mine. Mine's not in the gym. You know, it's those things. It looks like a flak jacket that, you know, you see it like when you watch, you know, it's a vest. You put the weight on the front and on the back.
No, this is just on the back. This is a real rucksack.
Oh, you have a real rucksack on.
Yeah, with the
Look
plate,
at you.
30-pound plate in the back. Yeah.
Look at you. Wow. Yeah. And what do we have? What kind of cigar we got there, Don? What are we enjoying?
David off.
Oh yeah, David up. $30 cigar, Anna. He right now is like he took a $30 bill if it existed, and he's burning it. How much are those things? Are they $30, Don? I have no idea.
25.
$25. $45. One smoke.
Is that expensive for a cigar?
I thought like a $5 cigar was a thing. I guess that was
Don't billionaires smoke really expensive cigars?
$45 ones, yeah, apparently. Anna, I want you to pull a 50 spot out of your wallet and just take a match to it right now.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I don't like burning money and putting it in my lungs.
He's doing that while he's exercising. That's my boy right there. And people want to know why I love him so much. That's why. Come one, come all, ladies. He's available. Right.
Oh boy.
He smells like David off.
Yeah.
That's what he smells like. Davidoff and sweat. You know what, Don? When we're climbing next month, I'm doing it blindfolded. I'm just going to follow the guy with the musky kind of cigar odor on his.
There you go.
Boom. Just like that.
Mm-hmm. That'll work.
Yeah. You know what, Don? Here's what I'll do. If we make it up the route, we want to make it up. I'm not telling anyone where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
But if we make it up that route, I will enjoy a cigar with you on the way down. Why not?
Man.
There you go. I'm a man up, Anna. I'm going to man up.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to tell my grandkids I was shoveling shit down in Louisiana back in 2021. Right.
Piss off everybody on the mountain.
But can you imagine, Don, if we did that? Let's say we were actually smoking a cigar coming down the mountain.
Right.
Oh, I might do that for effect. Don.
And I'll film their reaction.
Don, can you bring me like a $5 one or something that I don't want to burn up? Bring me a cheap one and I'll keep it lit. I'll keep puffing on, keep it lit and see the reaction of people when we're coming down that mountain. Oh, that's going to be priceless.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I love it. All right, Don, you know what you got to do? You got to go to Belcampo. Belcampo, folks. Let me tell you something.
Love Belcampo.
Belcampo is great, right? That's right. You're into Belcampo. Tell everybody how great this meat is, Don. Look, I get paid to say it. You tell them.
No,
go on.
Fantastic. Love everything about the company, Anya, their products, all of it. Love it.
He even knows about Anya. Look, you know, every now and then he'll write to me. He goes, "Did you see what Anya was cooking on her Instagram?" And then I got to go look because she's always like firing up some meat in the backyard.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Belcampo, folks, listen, I got together with them and I said, look, this one time 20%, it's not cutting it with my people. I need something better. And they said 10%. And I said, no, that's what you let everyone else do. I need something better. And they said 12%. I said, well, what are we messing around? What are we doing? 15%, Anna. Every time you go to Belcampo, for the time being, this month, it's still there. 15% off every time you go to Belcampo. Put in promo code Vinnie, VINNIE. Anna, I get the bone broth sometimes. Ooh. I get in the winter, I get it most. You know, I'm going to be honest. In the summer, I just put the Knox gelatin because it's cooler. In the winter, I do the bone broth a lot. The meatballs, those NSNG approved meatballs are off the charts.
They're real good.
The ribeyes, all of it. It's all great. Don, what's your favorite cut over there?
Ribeye.
Yeah.
Absolutely ribeye.
Don cooks it up. He's got a cigar in one hand. Some ashes are hitting that ribeye just right. Yep. the way it works.
Fire everywhere.
Belcampo, folks. Belcampo. Belcampo.com. Promo code Vinny, 15% off. If after the discount you are still above $100, free shipping. Boom. Free shipping. That look, when you're having meat shipped, that's expensive. The shipping part is the most expensive. So get over $100, including the discount. Get your free shipping, get your 15% off. Belcampo.com. We are talking to the billionaire Don Coddington and my friend Anna Vicina. Don, are you done? Can I let you go, or you got something to say?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
He probably called you for a reason.
Yeah, he called me because he was bored while he was hiking.
Hiking and smoking. Excuse me. Hiking and smoking. .blogspot.com is
You know
his
how I
website.
figured it out? Because when we asked him a question, it took him a second to answer one time, and I went, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bit of smoking."
Yeah. It is like an inhale.
Oh God, you gotta love it.
boy.
Campo, folks.
Mhm.
Don, thank you for coming on,
Yeah.
buddy. I'll call you later.
All right, man. Talk to you
Bye,
later.
Don.
Bye, Anna. Bye.
You know, Anna, I'm gonna have to one up him.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking of doing is, I'm gonna.
He
go
needs to
out-
buy you a nice cigar because I feel you don't spring for nice enough cigars.
I don't smoke cigars, so let's see. Anna, here's what we're gonna do. I need to one up his workout tonight. I'm gonna throw my rucksack on instead of 30
Okay.
pounds, putting 40 pounds.
Not well, and also that's like having 50 pounds if you're not smoking.
No, but I'm gonna also go out and get a cigar. There's
Uh-huh.
there's one of those you can buy cigars or vaping or kratom, one of those shops down
Okay.
the street from my house. You know, I'll just walk by there in my flak jacket, go in there, get a cigar, and get a bourbon. I'm gonna one up him. I'm gonna have more
Okay.
weight. I'm gonna drink a bourbon and a cigar. That's the way you train, folks. That's
Or
the
do
way
you have a little tiny bourbon flask?
You know what I do?
How are you going to imbibe said bourbon?
I do because Tallulah used to give them to me as a gift when she was a kid and she didn't know what else to give me.
Yeah, men like flasks. Give
Yeah.
them flasks.
Yeah, they want. Yeah, Vinny's going to take me to the game and he's going to want to bring some booze along.
He can't seem to go without.
Yeah, he seems to like the booze when we go to the game. I mean,
Well, give him a way to drink more booze.
I'm a 12-year-old girl. I don't know why he would need
I don't know.
booze at the game. You know, I can't possibly be annoying. And so, yeah, no, Tallulah and I used to enjoy a lot of baseball together. And yeah, I
I
miss.
thought you were going to say bourbon together.
No, I was a pretty good.
Went back when she was 12. We would drink.
And by the way,
You
folks,
know.
I'm kidding about the cigar and the bourbon while I'm working out. That is not the way you do zone 2. Anna, can I I can give a shout out. It's my podcast, right?
Yeah, you can give a shout out. I give you permission to give a shout out on your podcast.
There's a longtime listener. We've met him, or at least I met him at a meetup. I think you might have met him too at some meetup. He and his wife are around every now and then. A guy named Brian Hardy. Do you know Brian Hardy?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're about to
I've
say.
I've had several
Bad news.
consults with Brian. And over the years, I started having consults with his mom, Marilyn, who
Mhm.
suffered from cancer. And
Yes.
she passed away
Mhm.
just recently. And I'm not saying anything out of turn. He put it in a group.
He
I just
did. He
spoke
put it
to
on
her.
Instagram. Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, she was doing badly. I gave her a consult. Brian called me and he goes, "Hey man, I want to do a consult for my mom," and the whole thing. I was like, I didn't know how bad she was because when we
Right.
spoke, it was just a few weeks ago. You know, she seemed to
Oh,
be up,
really?
but she was that type of person. She would, you know, I was like, "Marilyn, are you eating right?" "Oh yeah. Yeah, I really need to get back on it again. I've been kind of sick." You know, she didn't want anyone to feel bad on her behalf. You know, she was that type of person. And one thing led to another. And Brian called me a couple of weeks after the consult, and he goes, "You know, bad news, man. My mom, she passed." And so big shout out to Brian.
Yeah. Shout out to Brian. We love
and,
you.
You know, he's got Brian also has a sister. I think she's got some special needs. The mom was the caregiver.
Mm.
So, you know, they have some stuff in front of them. And Brian, I just want you to know from everyone here, we're thinking about you and your family, and especially, I knew your mom just a little bit from the phone calls. You can't really learn a lot from people, but she always had that demeanor of, I want to try harder. I want to do more, that type of thing. And so she will be missed. I don't know if her last name was Hardy also, but Marilyn, you will
I
be
think it
missed.
was, but I was glad to see that like he could be there,
Yeah, he went to visit her right at the end. They called him and said, hey,
get over here.
yeah, and they were going to put her back on chemo for the last couple of days, and it was like, why? It's in her liver, her bones, and everywhere else. And Brian said, we gave her some marijuana gummies, and it created an appetite for her, and she started eating ice cream and stuff like that, and they were like, why not?
Right, of course.
Dying
Jesus.
in the next 24 hours, and she felt better, and she was able to at least eat and feel better before she passed. And
Good.
wow, man.
I'm sorry to
Folks,
hear
I'm
that.
telling you, look, life is short. I thought I was gone in my mid 40s. I really did. And I beat cancer, I beat leukemia. And if you're out there struggling, we're pulling for you. And I talk to people every day, and I know people still hand my book out. This is not an ad for my book I won't even mention the name of my book, but people hand it out because there's a cancer story in it. I tell of what I went through and what happened and everything else. And I think that story ends up helping people. So
It does. It really does.
Yeah. And I think that's
It's a common source of conversation with me, one-on-one with people, with friends, with family. It's really resonated with people. And it's really sad. I know when Paul passed away, Stephen had a similar thing with, there was a day where it seemed like Paul was taking a turn for the better.
Yeah.
But really, and he'll talk about this. It's not like I'm divulging stuff, but really that's like a typical thing for things to have one time of like getting back, which is great. I didn't have that opportunity with my mom. She was too far gone by the time I got there. But like, it's an interesting thing how the body will like, she did the gummies, she ate the thing. They were able to have hopefully a good last time together, till they meet again.
Yeah, I think they did. And
Good.
oh man.
I know it's rough.
We're thinking about you, buddy. Eggs and legs and HIIT. Eggs, legs, HIIT.
Mm-hmm.
Anna?
Yeah.
Something happened this morning. And boy, was I upset.
Uh-oh.
I went to my fridge.
Oh no.
Opened it. And there were no eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, there have been times when I will get up at midnight, like I'll be in bed and then in a cold sweat go, I meant to go get eggs. I was doing the podcast. I had this and that. I took an extra phone call. I forget to get them. I will go out at midnight to get my eggs.
Okay.
Because when I wake up in the morning, I need eggs.
Right.
I crave them. It's got, look, folks, if you can tolerate eggs, every amino acid, everybody wants to take the EAAs, the essential amino acids, and the BCAAs, the branched chain amino acids, and I take the whey, and the egg has every amino acid that we need in an egg, in a chicken egg. It's how I stay lean and mean. It's what I do. I'll have as few as 3. I'll have as many as 6 or 7, or sometimes 8. And when I have that many, I'm usually drinking them. I don't recommend it. You could get salmonella. Take my chances. I've had salmonella twice. It ain't fun. When you go to the bathroom, have a bucket because it's coming out of both ends. And get to a hospital as quickly as you can.
That's a branch of NSNG weight loss programs, raw eggs.
Salmonella.
Yeah.
How would you like to be salmonella? The guy who came up, it's like, hey, this is what we're going to have. We're going to name this.
We're going to call it, we're going to name it after a fish because what comes out of you smells so bad. But we'll give it a lady's name. We'll make it kind of cute.
Yeah, we'll make it sound cutesy, but
salmonella.
So I woke up. I go to the kitchen. There's no eggs.
Mm.
There are no eggs, and it's leg day. Mm-hmm. Anna, on leg day, there's at least 6 eggs that goes into my body.
Yeah.
Before I come down to the gym.
What time does leg day start?
It could be 10, it could be 11.
So you eat your breakfast like 8, 9, and then you go into leg day around 10.
38. Yeah.
Let the food settle a bit.
Yeah, well, I do work, and then
Yeah.
I get a lot of work done. I answer a lot of emails. I do my social media and the whole thing. I do a couple of hours of work. I don't like to work out, especially like they're on a full stomach, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden, there's no eggs. Luckily, we had bacon. If not, I would have probably had a gun sandwich. I would have just killed myself.
You you didn't just go to the store and get eggs?
No, I had too much to do. I had phone calls. I had stuff coming up. I was on a schedule. I had people coming to the house. There was a deal. And Serena was out running, and I didn't want to bother her. Hey, bring egg. So what I did was I ate a ton of bacon, and then I had some cottage cheese. I was like trying to do whatever I can. I was making up for it. I was trying to make up for it. And then did my leg work. Had a pretty good leg workout. It worked.
By the way, people are going to lose their minds that you said you had cottage cheese. I'm just pointing that out.
Okay. I had, I had high fat cottage cheese. It was in the fridge. I had to do what I had to do, and that's what I had. Also I had a couple of these.
Ooh, ultra fat nut butters.
Right before, you know what, Anna?
Yeah. You can have it now.
Why not?
You're going to ruin your dinner.
No, this doesn't ruin my dinner. Get a little fat in me?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're literally 20 minutes from having your steak, save it for tomorrow.
Yeah. I will. I was going to have it because they're so delicious.
They are honestly the best things. And I got a brand new shirt. Mama got a brand new shirt. And then I opened a nut butter, and it's summertime.
Yeah.
And I didn't squish it around. So you know what happened. I opened it and went, and then I was eating it. I didn't even notice. And Lucy's like, what did you do? I was like, oh, well. Salmonella. That's how Mama eats her nut butters, honey.
She likes to lick them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are really good, Vin.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I had that, and then it was a couple hours later, I squeezed in a nut butter, and I just started doing my lunges, and then got into my deep squats, and then my regular squats. I just did the whole thing, and had a good workout. But sometimes you got to improvise. Now, as soon as that workout was over with, I had another phone call, and then I went right to the store, and there's 3 dozen eggs. I'm good for 2 days. So 3 dozen eggs in the fridge. And yeah, it just wasn't.
See, in my house, I can't eat the eggs. So if Lauren doesn't have eggs and he didn't tell me to get eggs the last time I went to the store, it's on him. Also, too, since I can't have dairy, he gets to drink all the dairy directly out of the carton. How about that? How about that? You get the best. You get a wife, and you get to drink the milk directly out of the carton. Those two don't always intersect on the Venn diagram.
No, it does not. I drink my
Bachelor to be able to do that.
I drink my buttermilk right from the glass bottle. Just go down. It's clumpy. I get the clumpy. It's fat, clumpy. Comes from the farm down the street.
I would do that with heavy cream. I could drink heavy cream directly from the bottle. I cannot drink milk from the carton.
I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten all day. I've been working all day. That's why.
Okay, well then eat your nut butter. I don't mean to deprive you of it or belly shame you with your.
I got it. Yeah, but that ribeye I bought when I went to buy my eggs.
Yeah.
It's $1.25 ribeye. It's $1.25.
I'm doing pork chops tonight, bone in. I'm testing we had to do another formulation of the Eat Happy Kitchen barbecue dust.
Yeah.
We're launching the spices in a couple months.
You want me to try some of it? You want to send it? I can play with it?
I can send you some.
I'll play with it.
So they wrote me saying, remind me to tell you how much I hate Pitney Bows. That's a whole other thing. Okay. They wrote me saying, the spice co-packer saying, the garlic powder is making it clump, after. So, which to me, I'm like, well, then you just shake it and then you do. but they were like, but we don't want customers to complain that it's clumping.
Anna, don't let them talk you into magnesium stearate, whatever.
Oh, no. God, no. They said we're going to do granules, which I actually use garlic granules when I cook.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's fine. I prefer garlic granules over garlic powder, unless the garlic powder is the Cappelli garlic powder, which is the strongest tasting garlic powder I've ever had. But I like garlic granules. I like the texture, how it like mixes into the spices. So they had to send it a new formulation, and we had to make sure the nutritional content was exactly the same. Oh no, it's all organic. It's all certified, gluten-free, it's taken for freaking ever, by the way, to source everything, to make sure it's priced right, to get the things together, and to do 3 different spice mixes. It's taken so long. By the way, when you call these companies too, you're like, okay, hey, we want to do this spice mix, or we want to do this thing. They're always like, oh, well, R&D takes like 2 to 3 weeks, and then you'll be ready to go. I'm sorry. It's been like 8 months. Like it's a total, it takes so long to develop a product. Plus then you're developing packaging, art, branding, the boxes that you need to send them in, this guy is not ready, and then that guy has got to have the thing, and then the canisters that they have to be made to put into, and then oh, by the way, paper canisters have doubled in price over the past 3 weeks.
Who do you think you're talking to, Anna?
I know, but
I
you know
own this company, and here,
yeah.
You think you got problems? Look at
I know.
All of this, people think, oh, you just put a label and you plop it. No, you do not.
There's a lot of care and feeding, but
yeah, I feel you.
But as you know, I'm not going to put it out until it's ready to go. Oh, right. You scared me with that magnesium stearate. If they ever suggested that, I would be like,
oh, they'll start talking.
Go fuck yourselves.
Flow agents at some point. They will.
No. They know. They
stick to your guns, Anna.
This company knows what I'm doing. Nothing's in there. Nothing's in there but what is they know. That's why I went with them. And that's why it's taken so long, is because of the things. And then even, you want to have the label be compliant and all that stuff. And anyway, it's all good. We've gotten delayed, but I'm making the pork chops with the new formulation with the garlic granules instead of garlic powder. I don't mind the clumping. You just shake it up. It doesn't bother me.
Oh, it's just
maybe if you live in a really humid climate, you don't want it to turn into a cylinder of spice that you have to jam a fork in to like separate it. So I thought, well, for my humid people, I'm gonna make. Oh, look, I forgot. I had this in my lap.
All right, I need one of those.
It's an apron.
How do I get that?
Well, I just had them. They just got delivered today. I got them because we're doing that. Well, by the time this airs, we will have done it on Saturday the 3rd, the Pasadena grocery store demo. So thank you for everybody who came out for that. I hope y'all did come out. So we're going to be wearing these. Me and Skeeter are going to be passing out the sauce. And
Skeeter going to have a shirt on or just that?
Oh, I already took a picture of Lauren with no shirt on and wearing the thing.
All right, Anna, you need to send one to me, and you need to send one to the guy in Texas. What's his name?
Who's the guy in Texas?
With the Corvette, no shirt.
Oh, Bob Zimmer. Yes.
Bob Zimmer.
You're absolutely correct. Yes, thank you. I do.
Yeah, we got to all take one with a shirt off.
For those of you who are just listening, it's a black apron that has the white Eat Happy Kitchen logo on it, and then it's got has a bottle opener there.
Nice.
It's got like a Mylar pouch for you. I guess you put your hot grilling tools in that apron.
No, that's where you put your beer. You crack your beer and then you put it in there. Jesus Christ, Anna.
Who drinks beer?
Apparently Bob Zimmer. You need to send one.
He doesn't drink beer.
By the way, Anna.
He drinks scotch.
Anna, you want to?
It's just huge. It's for a man. I put it on. It was like it swallowed.
Anna, we got to raise your profile. We need to get you shirtless behind one of those bad boys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Think about that. I didn't even think about my nudie modeling.
Let me get Coddington back on the phone.
At age 48 to be a nude model.
Wait, hang on. We could get Coddington back on the phone. See if we can if we can get you to work that out. No? You're not going to do it.
No. I already got Lauren to do it with a shirt off.
Such a prude.
I'm gonna get everybody else to do it. I'm not a
boobies
prude.
aren't as big as yours.
That's true.
Yet.
What was I going to tell you? Oh,
We're
can
gonna-
I ask you a question from Michael McCoy?
I got to talk about HIIT first
Oh
because
yeah, HIIT.
talked
That's
about
right.
it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, HIIT, HIIT. It stands for,
High intensity interval training.
yeah. So people ask me all the time in the consults, hey, I do HIIT. I do HIIT. I do the HIIT. Can I do the HIIT? And I'll say, no. Yeah, but I do.
You just say no.
I do the Peloton.
Daddy says no.
I do the Peloton. Her name is Hillary, but they call her Killary, man. She kills us every morning. I do the HIIT with Hillary. No, you can't do it. Why not? Because several reasons, folks. Reason number one, when you do high intensity interval training, you're in zone 3 or 4. And if you're in zone 4, basically you're just burning out your blood glycogen. And as soon as you stop doing it, you will have to take that back on board again. You will get ravenous. You'll want to eat something sweet. You got to get it back on. And so why do that? Right? Usually if you use any of your blood glycogen in a way that's not in a rush that happens in 45 minutes while you're doing your high intensity interval training, you can usually get it back on through gluconeogenesis, where protein turns to sugar, or if you have any kind of vegetation, you get what you need and you won't feel ravenous to do it. That's one reason. That's not the most important reason, though. The second biggest reason, or the more important reason, actually, is what I should say, is because you can't do it every day. And I know what you're saying. You're going, no, Vinny, you understand. I get up every morning before work. I get on my Peloton and I go. Or Vinny, I get up and I go to the boot camp down the street. Or Vinny, I go to the box after work and I do the box. Tell them what the box is, Anna. Is that
CrossFit? Yeah.
And when we do it, we take a hammer, we take a big sledgehammer, we beat on a tire, and then sometimes we flip the tire over and we flip it over again. And sometimes they hook us up to a sled and we pull the sled. Can you see billionaire Don Coddington at one of those? He would be there with the sled with a cigar in his mouth.
A plume of smoke around him, like
He'd
Pigpen.
look like a freight train. He'd look like a choo-choo train, pulling that thing around,
Yeah.
flipping a tire over with the hatchet, axing it, and then flipping it.
He kicks it with one foot.
Yeah, he'd kick it and go, hey, you get over here and lift it. I'm a billionaire. I don't lift. You lift. I'll tell you to lift. And when you're done, he'll probably, throw some bills down at you like that. That's how Don. So
Makes it rain.
when you're doing those classes, you're not actually doing high intensity interval training. Here's why. You cannot recuperate quickly enough to do it at a high level every day. It's diminishing returns. Don't take my word for it. I will give you an example. And oddly enough, I'm noticing that I'm wearing this t-shirt right here today. You see this t-shirt, Anna?
Johnny's Bike Shop.
Yeah, no, look what it says.
Mellow
Johnny's.
Mellow Johnny's. Okay.
You know who owns Mellow Johnny's Bike Shop?
John?
Lance Armstrong.
Oh.
So I think it
You
came
know
from,
I'm coming.
it's in Texas. I think it came from his buddies used to call him Yellow Johnny because he won so many yellow jerseys. And his kid couldn't say yellow. His kid would say mellow. So they started calling him Mellow Johnny, and he's got a bike shop. Lance Armstrong is an exceptional individual. Guy's got one of the highest aerobic capacities out there. He won the tour 7 times. Now you're going to say, wait a minute, Vin, he cheated. Aha. Let's throw that into the mix. He wasn't just phenomenal as an athlete, as an aerobic athlete. He also took steroids, admittedly, and he took EPO, which is a blood boosting. It raises your red blood cells. This is a guy who took EPO and anabolic steroids to do his sport. And even in training, he never did, after he had a big base, a big giant base, never did interval training more than once a week. This is a guy with a crazy aerobic capacity on drugs, performance enhancing drugs. He needed 7 days to get ready to do it again.
Wow.
Why in God's hell do you think you could do it in 24 hours or less? Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Can I ask some clarifying questions?
Go on.
When I think of HIIT training, I think of CrossFit. I didn't realize that HIIT training is any time that you ramp the interval, like it could be during your cardio where you ramp the intervals up. So you're saying HIIT training could be either one of those?
I could get on that spinner that's sitting right there.
Yeah.
And if I'm spinning, I'm 58 years old, but I know that my zone 2 is somewhere around 25 to 27, right? Because I've been doing aerobics for a lot of years, it's a little higher, right?
Right.
So if I'm anywhere under 130 on that bike, I'm in zone 2. I can keep my mouth closed. I can breathe through my deviated septic nose and watch.
You're talking about the RPM?
No, not the RPM. We're talking about my heart rate.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, whoa.
My heart rate is, every time I look down, it's 121, 123, 120. If I start seeing 130, I start cracking it back.
Okay.
Don will tell you when we train together, because by the way, folks were joking about how much the cigar, Don actually trains really hard. And Don will tell you, I'll be training with him on a mountain and I will put his heart rate monitor on my wrist. And if I see he's going out of zone 2, I'll just yell, crack it back. Just crack it back. And he'll go, I can't go any slower. I said, great, stop. Let's stop, let your heart rate go down. We'll start again.
That's
right?
interesting.
There's no race. So I could get on that bike, right? And keep my heart rate right under 130, right? Okay. If I raise it up a bit, I can tighten the tension a bit, just like you can on your bike. You have a bike.
I have the same
I
one.
can tighten the
For
tension.
the concept too. Yeah.
Or I can, my RPMs usually sit right at about 91 revolutions per minute. 92, 91, 92, right? I can raise it up to 102 and crank it, just put ever so slightly, add the pressure, and I could be at 140 like that, right? Now I'm in zone 3. I can inch up the tension just a bit more, and before you know it, I'm looking at 160, 165, 170, right? And counting, right? All I'm doing is high intensity interval training now and burning out blood glycogen. I'm not building up any more mitochondria than I would build up if I stayed in zone 2. And I'm now working my heart in an anaerobic capacity, right? It's beating really hard. I'm making the walls, look in the video camera, Anna. If this is your heartbeat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Squeezing blood out every time it pumps.
He's doing his hands like, here's the church.
Or
Here's
people can go watch the video. So if you do anaerobics, you make the walls of your heart thicker. So if the walls are thicker, you have less volume every time you're squeezing because you've now made that muscle, the heart muscle, thicker. Seinfeld used to have a joke, and I'm going to use this joke as a way of understanding this. Anyone who lives in New York knows that the apartments are very small. And Seinfeld says he used to like to paint his apartment, but every time he painted it, he realized that the place was now smaller, right? Another coat of paint. It's got, by definition, it's smaller. Right. The more you build up that heart muscle thickness, the less volume you get. Okay. That doesn't happen when you stay in zone 2. It happens when you stay in zone 4.
Okay.
So why do it? Did I make sense?
Yeah.
Did I say it in a way that the average person?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I guess I just always thought of HIIT as like CrossFit type of stuff and Tabata and things like that. So I didn't.
Right, because that's,
I didn't associate it with cardio because I'm now conditioned to just do zone 2. Right. And so you're saying, so for example, me doing 30 days in a row of the concept 2 in zone 2 is perfectly safe and actually encouraged.
Do it every day.
Every day. There's no need to recover from that.
Do the same thing.
Sorry, say it again.
I could get on a rowing machine and do the same thing. Stay in zone 2.
And you could do it every day for 365.
Knock yourself out. Last year I did 3 million miles on the rowing machine. 3 million meters.
Right.
Right.
3 million miles would be.
And by the way, when I had it I brought the rowing machine with me to Louisiana while I was taking care. I was sitting in the same room with my mom. They have a big giant living area. And I had to be there anyway. And I said, "Ma, you need something? You let me know. Otherwise, I'm sitting on this thing watching the same stupid television you're watching."
Right.
And we would sit there and watch Breaking Bad. And she would make a comment. She would go, "You've been going for 90 minutes. Well, you've been going for two." Like I would start at the kickoff of the Saints game
And do the
would
whole
only
game.
get off and just get off to go to the bathroom. And
Yeah.
then the rest of the time I was, I would say, okay, the rule is I stay on until the Saints game is over with. And that could be a pro football game is over 2 hours with commercials and what have you. Right. You play games with yourself. You just do it.
Absolutely. And by the way, I thought that my choochy little sit bones would be acclimated more after 30 days straight. They're not. It's still, I'm like, this is annoying, but I do it anyway.
It's a part of your body that doesn't build up a callus.
Right.
You get used to it eventually.
Well, I know it's not a big deal, but so, okay. So you're saying, okay, here's where I get confused because a lot of people in the low carb
Confused in
keto,
California.
huh?
Confused in California.
Confused.
Confused.
This is confused in California. Hi,
Go on,
Vinnie.
caller.
I've noticed that a lot of people in the low carb / keto / sugar free community, they really like HIIT training and they talk about it constantly. And there's really weird guys in my park doing it. And they're like sprinting past me and my dog in kind of an aggressive way. Why do they say it's so good for you then if you're not supposed to do it?
Are you a first time, long time?
I'm a first time caller, long time listener. Yeah.
First time, long time.
First time listener.
So you say they're aggressive? Aggressive how?
They run real hard. Like
So
maybe
you see that as an aggression? Is that a microaggression or is that
no, it's just they
microaggression?
just run really hard in my personal space.
Listen, caller, it's 2021, so it's got to be some kind of aggression. Can we call it a microaggression?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
Because
it's,
everything is an aggression. The fact
guess
that I woke up this morning and farted was an aggression.
That's what Serena said.
She farted right back.
That's right.
Yeah,
She
you know
can dish it right back.
I'll see that fart.
I'll raise you.
Fart.
No, you know what I mean? It's very rampant in the low carb / keto community of like, oh, you burn more fat if you do HIIT workouts instead of just regular boring cardio. Stop doing cardio, only do intervals. I mean, it's out. That information is really popular. I started Tabata and now I'm like really burning fat. I'm also like, how do you know?
These are people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay. As you know, I've been associated with people like Tim Noakes and people who have actually done studies.
Right.
I hate the name drop here, but Tim Noakes, and the facts are just not on their side there, pumpkin. It is what it is.
I will say there are dudes who work out at the park. Like, first of all, they own that park. Like, settle down.
Like it's their park.
Yeah. You're like, all right. That was the same problem that I had with the sauna where people were like treating it like it was their own personal sauna and no other human was going to go in it with them.
Your tales from the sauna.
Oh, I had to stop because it was eroding like any shred of faith in humanity that I had left was completely eroded by Tales from the Sauna.
You know what, Anna?
Once the guy was practicing his knife work and he's like, what? I'm just a stunt man. Throwing a knife around in the sauna.
Anna, I
can't anymore.
I have a dollhouse that this guy, whoever owned the house before us, built this cute little dollhouse right outside of my office. And I love heat. I've been loving this heat wave here, by the way.
Oh, you mean like a little sauna?
I'm building.
I thought it was like picturing a dollhouse. It's like, what?
No, it's like he built like a little house for his daughters, and it's got little cute.
Oh, it is the dollhouse.
It's like it's a giant. It could be like a tool shed, but I already have a tool shed. So I was going, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So yeah, I'm going to keep the outside looking exactly like the gingerbread house it is.
And then turn it into sauna. That's awesome.
When you open the door, you're going to walk in. I'm going to build a sauna in there.
Yeah. That's
right?
badass.
Yeah. And then in the winter, it'd be freezing cold here. Every day I'll just get in that sauna.
I got to say, even in the summer, we got to steam and I crank that shit up. Yeah. Fucking love it. I love that heat.
Nothing better than a sauna or a steam room. And by the way, I'm thinking
Help with his bronchitis. I'll tell you
I
that.
have room over here. I could put a steam room over there. I love heat. I love saunas. I love steam rooms. I love saunas more than steam rooms.
I do too, but we only have a steam room. So
I want a steam room. I can just go visit my parents in Louisiana.
do we have time real quick for Michael McCoy's question?
Absolutely. But we won't answer that question until I tell the audience about Stephen Crutchfield and his company, Villa Cappelli Olive Oil.
Well, the oil it's just imminent. It's coming very soon. Villa Cappelli, as you guys know, is the best olive oil on the planet. We won't belabor this one because a lot of stuff is not in stock right now, but we're contractually obligated. So make sure, here's what you're going to do. Go to villacappelli.com, click on oil. On the upper left, there's a 3-liter tin, and it says on the picture, temporarily sold out, sign up to be notified when back in stock. If you tap that, you can I put my email address in. So, because when I get that notification, I'm ordering my 3-liter tin because I have this much oil left. I have like a centimeter left and it's bumming me out. And people are writing me, what do I do? And I was like, it's coming. Just everyone hold your water. We're going to get the oil. So, and when you do get the oil, you're going to want to use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE, not with a wimpy Y, and you're going to get 10% off your order. These are longtime sponsors. They have been sponsoring this podcast for forever. I can't believe they still do this deal because there's no way he makes any money off of it. And what we tell you guys is to game the system. So make sure you get the 3-liter tin and maybe either a second 3-liter tin or add on a flavored oil. None of their oils add sugar or anything to it. Get their salts, their spices, the garlic powder that I mentioned earlier is incredible, but add it up so that when you get your 10% off, you still go over $100 so that you qualify for the free shipping. So make sure you do that.
We try to teach people how to screw our sponsors.
Yeah. And then we tell the sponsors, we're like, we would never do that in our ads.
Why would we do that? Thank God no one listens.
No one listens. It's fine. No one listens. Villa Cappelli, discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. It is literally, it's liquid gold. It is the best olive oil on the planet. Oh, somebody wrote in one of the Facebook groups, just found out I'm allergic to coconut. So no more coconut oil. What do I cook in? Villa Cappelli.
Villa Cappelli.
I actually cook most of my stuff in Villa Cappelli.
Go ahead and ask me that question.
Okay.
Because I can smell my steak upstairs.
Uh-oh.
I can smell it now.
I got to get started on my pork chops. Michael McCoy asks, and by the way, let me just preface this question by saying we are not doctors. Hold on. Before I ask that, I forgot. I have to say one thing.
Go on.
Anybody who lives in Arizona or Las Vegas, please, when you shop at AJ's or Natural Grocer, please request Eat Happy Kitchen. We just got signed with a distributor, and the buyer will respond if people are requesting the product.
Anna, my nephew lives in Arizona. What's the grocery store again?
Natural Grocer and AJ's are the two chains that this distributor supplies into. And if you request Eat Happy Kitchen, then we will have a much better shot. Because I'm telling you, there's so many doors that have to be opened.
Yeah.
To get to a buyer. And then I thought the entertainment industry was bad about ghosting you.
No.
Grocery is crazy. So anyway, if you guys are shopping at AJ's and Natural Grocer, just ask for the manager or whoever the buyer is in the store and say, hey, I want to make a request. And they will write it down because they want to sell you products that you will buy. So that's the good thing. And then if you do that, email me or tweet me and let me know, because I will keep sending emails to their buyers. Hey, because
I'll say it again at the end of the show, Anna. Go ahead and ask me that question.
Okay. Michael McCoy asks, he is a longtime listener, first-time Clubhouse guy. I finally talked to him on Clubhouse. He says, hi, Anna. I finally made a doctor's appointment for next Tuesday. By the way, I'm asking this way after his doctor's appointment, so apologies, but we got to it when we got to it. I wanted to ask you what tests I should ask for in my annual checkup. I'm 61, 165 pounds, 5'7", probably shrunk with age at this point, lol. I've been doing NSNG since 2013 officially. Prior to that, I would do a version of it to control my weight. No junk and real food. It wasn't hard for me to do this, really. I just needed to hear all the details and confirmation from someone in the know. Vinnie gave me that, and I dropped from 245 to 160 the first go at it. Sure. So I was like, I knew that we wouldn't get to his question anytime soon. And so I just said, and correct me if I'm wrong, first of all, always ask for as many tests as you can get that your insurance will cover.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, complete blood count, CBC, a metabolic panel, which would include your fasting glucose and ask for your fasting insulin, because sometimes they won't always do that for a metabolic panel, and your A1C. If they have a cardio panel this is where I don't know about men, but a cardio panel and any hormonal panel that men can do, get it, find it out. And then I don't know, do you ever ask for an advanced lipid panel at the beginning, or do you wait to see what the result is for your?
I always, is
that when you have to pay? For me, I have to pay out of pocket. It's $95 to do that.
I do too. But I always tell people, get the advanced lipid panel. You want to get the particle test. They will tell everyone, almost every phone call I get. That's pushing it. 65%.
Saying I got bad cholesterol.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is high and they wanted to put me on a statin. And I'll say to them, I'm not allowed to comment, but can you tell me what the overall number? And they'll tell me. And sometimes it's in the 100s, like it'll be 180. And I'll say,
it's crazy. I thought if it's lower than 200, they didn't give you trouble.
Oh, no, they will. They're trying to get everyone on a statin now. They keep lowering it.
Every American takes a statin.
And they'll say, oh, my doctor told me I'm right on the cusp. And they did that to me. I went in recently and, the woman said, oh, you need to be on a statin. I'll go, I'm sorry. Did you do a particle test? Well,
they don't know what that is.
Okay. You didn't do an advanced lipid panel. We're good. We're good, because I've had Brett Shear and a couple of other doctors check it out. And guess what? I'm perfectly normal.
Your large fluffies are good. Your small particles are in check, because it's the small particles.
That's the only one that you have to be concerned with. It's not LDL, folks. That's a whole different thing. And I'm not allowed to really comment on this, but if your doctor says we don't do that, say, doc, do it anyway. Do it anyway. And then take that information, call Trocalasian, call Diet Doctor, call Brett Shear, call one of them and say,
I was going to say, take your results and take them to somebody else.
Take them to someone who actually knows how to be a doctor and not just be a goddamn puppet on the end of a marionette's string, because that's what doctors are doing now. They're telling people wrong information. Okay.
We're not trying to give you medical advice. We're just trying to give you the language with which to make the request from your doctor. That's all.
Let these doctors scare you into oblivion to where you're calling some idiot that grew up on a goddamn bayou. That's what happens. And then I got to tell them, go to Brett Shear, go to this guy, go to that guy. And I'm sure after this, I'm going to get 10 phone calls next week. Give me those names again. Who are you talking about? And look, I'll have a consult with you. I'll get you there, but I can't make that decision. You have to, I think these doctors, you have to advocate for yourself.
And you're not, you know what I mean? People post it in both the groups all the time, and in the main group and in the Eat Happy group. Hey, I got this result for my cholesterol. My doctor wants me to go on statins. What do I do? And immediately people go, did you get the advanced lipid panel? No, what's that?
Yeah. Most doctors,
and honestly, doctors don't even know about it. Some of them don't.
The doctors that do know won't order it because they don't know how to read it.
Oh God.
And as a matter of fact,
I'm sorry, read a freaking study. Get up to speed. Do some continuing education in your career.
Anna, as you know, I talk to a lot of doctors. They all come.
You think that we're still podcasting on the same equipment that we started 10 years ago? No, we stay up to date with what the new equipment is.
Hang on. Not so fast. Yeah, Anna, here's the deal. I talk to doctors all the time, non-heart doctors, and I'll say, when you look at blood panels, do you know what you're looking at? These are friends of mine. And they'll say, no, we just look, just like the naked
for your bun creatinine ratio. Okay.
They look at, it's like Billy Rubin. And then this has got to be this number and that number. If it's in the middle.
So they're literally looking for the Quest diagnostics to make sure it's just all in green. And then if they see a red, they're like, uh-oh.
And if it falls out of either side.
Oh, your apple lipoprotein it's in the red. Yeah. But I don't know what that means. Okay.
Yeah. We need to look at this.
Then you prove my point. They need to do continuing education.
Or they send you to a specialist, their friend down the street who only does that. So if you're wondering why doctors are sending you to quote unquote specialists, They're just sending you to a
'Cause
different
they don't know.
doctor who just looks at that one number and figured out something, when, as a matter of fact, they can go Google the same shit and give you the same help, because that's what they're doing.
Oh my God.
This is what doctors are doing. If you think there's some kind of godlike creature, they're looking at those numbers. If your apple protein, your A1Cs don't fall in the right range or whatever, they just go, oh, we need to figure this out. Oh, we need to put you on metformin, or we
Yeah.
need to put you on a statin, because they're just looking at the same number that you can look at and go Google the shit. I wish I was making this up. I'm not that good. I'm not that good, Anna. I'm just not that good. I knew you were going to make me mad before the end of the show.
Do you know what I'm going to try to do for the month of July?
I give up.
Well, I'm continuing the bike thing, but I'm going to try to, which doesn't, when you say you're going to try, it doesn't sound like you're very dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Turn off all devices and lights out by 10:30 every night for a month. I'm going to try to sleep.
That's commendable. It is. I mean,
It's the first today that we're recording this. Today is the first. I'll be lucky if I do it, because I tell you what.
you can do it. You can do it. I know you can. Look, I can't. I'm still doing Twitter at midnight.
I will say you are on the East Coast, but then you get up just as early, though. That's the thing. I was doing it the other night too. It's just I was working.
Yeah,
And oh God, I have to respond to people on the social media. I want to make sure I interact with
you
people.
have to.
That's
We're
important. That's
interacting with
for our
our
business
audience.
model. That's what we do.
It's what we do. And I never go look up anything fun or do. To me, whenever I have this phone in my hand, I'm working. This is work. I've
Yeah.
never played a game on this phone. Never. There's never been a game played on this phone. Period. Every now and
I
then.
play the games on my PS5.
Yeah.
But
All right,
but I now I think about my games. I think about the game I'm playing right now on my PS5 that's been going on for months, and I'm only like 5 hours into it, and I can't wait to play it again. Is the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to go murder some dudes.
You know what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah. Murder some dudes.
Yeah, but I don't have time.
Anna, you got a book. It's called Eat Happy. You have another book called Eat Happy too. Folks, these are what is known
Right.
as cookbooks. You want to go check them out. These are great books. We cook from them all the time. And you will love what's in those books. She also has Eat Happy kitchen products. She's got the marinara, she's got the puttanesca, and she's got the pink sauce. You want to get these, folks.
Next week I'll do a 101 on what those sauces are.
Yeah,
Because
we're
somebody
going to do
asked, they didn't understand, and I get that. Americans, we don't know about.
Anna, we're
Puttanescas.
going to do Italian 101 next week.
Okay.
And we're going to teach them about
To do
sauce and gravy.
Italian NSNG 101.
Anna,
By the way, for the food demo, I got in a big fight with Matt because he's like, we have to have some sort of bread or cracker or something because I was like, no, we don't. And he won. I was like, well, you can cut it and you can cut it over there. And then for the people who come in who aren't, I said, first of all, people might be gluten-free anyway.
Yeah.
But see, this my secret agenda is to get the people who are gluten-free, and then you get them grain-free and sugar-free.
exactly.
You rope them in, and then you give them really yummy food. And they're like, wait, that doesn't have sugar or grains in it? And you're like, yeah. And by the way, Matt and Todd both have been NSNG since the beginning of the year, and they both look like svelte, hot gay dudes. And I'm like, you're welcome. I just gave you back your hot gayness.
That's a great band name.
Svelte, hot gay dudes.
God, I need to start a garage band. Folks, this coming Thursday, July 8th, between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern, Anna and I will do a keto clubhouse. So
That's right.
we will be doing that. So on the 8th.
And it's going to be in another keto club. I'll send out a notification. We'll post it. I'll make you retweet, but be on that, because here's why this is important, you guys. There's a mainstream keto community that we're trying to basically get some good information out there, help the community.
Yeah.
Help disabuse anybody of any false information. And so for 4 weeks in a row, I'm hosting these things. And the first one, we're kicking it off with Vinnie in the clubhouse. DM me if you want to invite, or if not, put it on the Facebook group. Somebody has an invite for you.
Yeah.
And get on there. And also, if you do these, which I still do my regular clubhouses every Monday, raise your hand early in the hour, because the people who raise their hands early are the ones who get to talk. We don't always get to everybody, which, we try, but we don't always. So come join us.
All right, let's get this train into the station. Folks, if you like what's going on here, you know what to do. We all go shopping on Amazon. Before you go to Amazon, go to VinnieTartaries.com, click through the banner, puts a little coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We also have the super fan page. You might want to check that out. Amazon just doesn't give us what they used to. And people have been going there and throwing us a couple of bucks. Some people just every month, it could be like $5 or whatever. It's how we keep this show free. And we really appreciate you guys doing